Welcome everyone to Season 12 on the Project Nodenium server. Today we are starting off in a completely new world and I have a lot of exciting plans that I want to work on in this new season. There are a few things that we are doing a little bit differently than last season. The biggest change that we are doing for this season is that when we first joined this server, we are divided up into two teams, the blue team and the red team. Between the two teams, we are going to be competing to see who can build the best starting area on the server in the first couple of weeks. So now that I am a member of the red team, we are going to need to keep an eye out for the blue team and make sure that they don't come over and cause any problems over here. So that will be something that we need to keep an eye on as we go throughout this episode, and we'll need to make sure that we are staying safe as well. The first task for today is to find a location for my starter base. We are in the middle of a rather large taiga biome, and I think that there are some places over in this direction that would be perfect for building a starter base. After exploring for a little bit, I think that this is going to be the perfect spot. Not only does this area have a river that goes along here, but we also have some nice landscape in the background to make it a little bit more interesting. So we need to get started with collecting some of the essential items that we need to be able to survive in this world. And what types of essential items do we need to collect? That would include some spruce wood, coal, andesite, deep slate, white wool, calcite, and even more deep slate. We are going to need to collect some more resources, but in order to get to those, we will have to go into the Nether. In order to go into the Nether, we need to get prepared. And in order to do that, I got some gold ingots that we are going to turn into a golden helmet. And then we need to get some wood to turn into a shield so that we can be protected while we're in the Nether. I'm all geared up, and now it's time to head to the red team city to use the Nether portal that is located there. I've made it to the Nether portal, and now it's time to head into the Nether. It looks like we are all set up on the Nether roof already, and this looks to be the way down into the Nether, so let's get started. While I'm in the Nether, I also want to get some soul sand, just in case I want to make some soul lanterns later. Let's go ahead and get some Nether quartz. We are back from the Nether, and I was able to collect about 3 stacks of blackstone and then a little over 5 stacks of quartz, which should be enough for what we need to do in our starter base. One of the last items that we need to collect is some dark oak, and I've recently learned of the location for a dark oak forest. So let's head over there and get some collected. I was able to collect some dark oak and some dark oak saplings, so we won't need to travel quite so far the next time we need it. In addition to getting the dark oak saplings and the dark oak, I was also able to get a few different types of flowers and red mushrooms. Before we can get started building, one thing that we need to take care of is our bed, because right now we have a white bed, but we are on the red team. I think that is much better. I wanted to go through and replace this coarse dirt with grass, and because we don't have silk touch, what I was going to do is just put in a bunch of dirt and replace the podzol with dirt and let the grass spread. But then I thought, there's one more thing that we could try. If we create a hoe, let's see if this will work. Yes, it will. This is so much easier than having to go through and dig this all up. So we're just going to make this all regular dirt, and then we'll let the grass spread. Unfortunately, that trick doesn't work for the podzol, so I will still need to dig that up. I've gone through and replaced the podzol with dirt, and now the grass is starting to spread. I haven't replaced the podzol here in the center because this is where our starter base is going to be, and once we build that, I will go through and replace these with the blocks we're going to use for the floor. I think we have just about all of the base materials that we need. Now we just need to craft them up into the different blocks that we are going to use. Taking a little bit of time, I was able to get all of the different types of resources that we need in order to get this starter base built. You can see from where the spruce logs are where the build is going to be, and now what we need to do is fill in the walls. I want them to be primarily white, so we're going to use calcite, smooth quartz, and white wool. This is what I'm thinking. It's going to be primarily calcite, and then we're going to sprinkle in some white wool and some quartz to break it up. Now that we have the primary walls in, we need to add some details to help fill it out. These details are going to include some spruce logs, some spruce stairs, trapdoors, and we're going to also need these composters and smokers. I will also need some dark oak materials as well. What we are going to do for this is add the smokers as the base, then we're going to add some spruce logs, and as we go up, we are going to strip the logs so that we don't have the bark on them. And we'll end up with something kind of like this. The next step is to start filling in the details between these. For that detail, what we will be doing is making this oval shape in each of these sections. The next piece that we need to add some detail to is this spot here, and I think what we're going to do is add some moss blocks down here and then take some dark oak fences and run them across just like this. And then we need to take some dark oak trapdoors to put them right here so we have some shutters for the windows. The next stage is to get the roof, and for that we are going to take our blackstone and the deep slate blocks as well as some of these mossy cobblestone, and that should be everything that we need. The primary block for the roof is going to be deep slate tiles, so we're going to run those along here. And then to add a little bit of variety, we're going to mix in some blackstone bricks. We're going to add those there and then fill in the rest with deep slate tile. And with that, let's go ahead and get the rest of the roof built. With the outside all finished up, we now need to head into the inside because the inside is looking a little empty. With the floor in place, this is actually starting to look like the inside of a house. I've started framing out the interior, and I think for these corners, what we're going to do is just have stone bricks for this filling in the space, and we'll do that same thing over on this side and then over here. And for the windows, I want to use purple glass. I think that that's going to be a nice contrasting color with what we already have. And what I need to do for this area is have these spruce trapdoors along here, just like that. So we're going to place these in, and then that will make sure that this room will have plenty of space when you come in, but we won't have to look at the outside wall textures. For the ceiling, we are going to use some special blocks because I really like the smithing table, the underneath of it. We're going to place those in the corner, and then we are going to fill in the middle space with daylight sensors, and I think that the combination of these two go very well together. In this room, I've added in the staircase and encased it in these dark oak trapdoors, which I think makes it very nice and hidden away. And now we can move on to the second floor. I've gone ahead and finished up the second floor, and if we head over here and up this staircase, we can see that the third floor is also finished. Now that the interior is complete, it's time to do some decoration and get all of the items that we have outside moved in. I've got the interior all finished up, and let's go ahead and take a look. So this room here, I've made sort of a temporary storage room. So we've got barrels and chests with different items in it. And I think that this is a very limited storage. Going down to the basement, I decided to make the basement where we do the smelting. So we have just a single furnace here. We've got a double furnace here that is connected up with a bunch of hoppers and chests. So that way we could do a lot of smelting if we need to. This room over here is just a little sitting room. We've got a fire, got a rug. It's very nice and cozy. If we go up into this room, I haven't quite finished it. I think that this is where I'll do an enchanting setup. So I've got about 8 bookshelves. There are 2 here in the corner. And we'll need to get a bunch more just to finish that up. Going up to the final room, I made this the bedroom. We've got a bed, we've got a little armor stand, we've got some flowers. It's a pretty basic room, but coming together very nicely. With the interior all finished up, I think the next thing that we need to do is work on getting the exterior decorated. Because if we look around it, it needs a little bit of help, especially because we've got sugar cane, we've got wheat growing, we've got the sheep over there. Just a lot of things that we could clean up to make it look a little bit better. And there we are, we've got everything set up out here. It's looking a lot better, much more organized and not quite as cluttered. This has been a very productive episode. We have our base built up, we've got storage getting started, we've got a little mini smelter, we've got sugarcane growing. Everything is looking good, and I think that is where we are going to leave it for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, see you later.